Hello friends. Now in this session, we are going to discuss about the Boiler Act 1923 under Safety, Health and Environment legislation for the series of the lectures which is covered under the basics of industrial safety. Now before discussing the Boiler Act 1923, we must understand what exactly the boiler is, what is the functioning of the boiler is, and what are their applications, and then hazards present in the boiler, so that we can understand what is the importance of this Boiler Act and why it is stringent in case of boiler operations. So from this picture, you can understand the boiler consists of various components, mainly the structural supports, then number of tubes. The tube may be having the fire or water, and on the basis of that only, the boiler may be classified as fire tube boiler if the fire is present in the tube, and if the water is present in the tube, then it is called as water tube boiler. Then the main function of this boiler is to generate the steam. So the water that is a liquid phase is going to convert into the vapor phase, that is called as steam. So at the initial state, after reaching the boiling point of water, that is 100 degrees Celsius at 1 atmosphere, that is called as wet steam. And if we continue to provide this heat to the wet steam, then this wet steam is going to convert into the dry steam. Wet steam is nothing but the mixture of vapors as well as the liquid components, and dry steam is purely the vapor component. So there is no liquid droplets or the liquid components. And if you still require the superheated steam, that is the high temperature dry steam, then we can continue provide this heat to the dry steam. Then this dry steam is going to convert into the superheated vapor. So depending on the requirement in the industry, we are going to operate these type boiler in different functions. So normally in these operations, different mounting and accessories are required, like exhaust stack, then high temperature refractors, then safety valves, then water level indicators, pressure gauge, etc. So you can observe all these different components of the boiler in this photograph, and then you can understand the operation or the functioning of this boiler. As we discussed that we are going to increase the temperature in the boiler to convert this liquid water into the steam. That is why the pressure is also going to increase, because pressure is directly proportional to the temperature, and we are increasing the temperature, it means the pressure is also going to increase. So the temperature hazard, fire hazard, pressure hazards are the main hazards in the boiler operations. Generally, the boiler is nothing but a exploding bomb, because we are operating this boiler on a high pressure. And that is why the safety precautions or the safety measures are very important while operating these types of boilers. So let us discuss what sections are involved under this Boiler Act 1923. Short title, extent and commencement. That is, this act may be called as the Boiler Act 1923, and it extends to the whole of India. So the exceptional case is J&K, that is Jammu and Kashmir, and it shall come into the force from this date, which is given by the central government by the notification through the official gazette. So it is going to come into force from the 1923 itself. The section 2 is related to the definitions. So there are different definitions which are involved under these sections, like accident, board, boiler, boiler components, chief inspector, competent authority, competent person, economizer, feed pipe, inspecting authority, manufacturer, owner, prescribed, steam pipe, structural alteration, addition or renewal, then superheater, technical advisor, etc. So we will discuss some of the important definitions in the next slides. Then the second A is related to the application of act to the feed pipes. So as these pipes are also under pressure, that is why it is related to the component of the boiler only. Then application of act to the economizers also. So economizers are the equipments which increases the economy of the boiler. So generally, we are combusting or burning the fossil fuels in the furnace. So after combustion of these fossil fuels, the flue gases or the waste gases are generated, and these gases are carrying the heat, and generally we are sending these waste gases or flue gases to the atmosphere. So before sending to the atmosphere, we can absorb this heat to increase the temperature of the feed water to increase the economy. And that is why these equipments are called as economizer. Now these economizers are connected to the flue gases, to the water tubes, etc. And that is why it is also applicable to the act. Then section 3 is related to the limitations of applications. So some of the limitations of this act related to the locomotive boilers belonging to or under the control of the railways. So railways are the exemptions case. Then any boiler or boiler component which is related to the army, navy or air force functions. Some boilers which is related to the hospitals or nursing homes like sterilizer, disinfector, etc. are also the exemptions. So these are the limitations of this act, that this act is not applicable to some of these few exemptions like railways, army, navy, air force, hospitals, and nursing homes. Then section 4 is related to the power to limit extent. That is the state government may or may um, through the notification or official gazette exclude any specific area from the operation of all or any specific provisions of this act. So that is controlled under the state government. So state government will decide the specific area, the exemptions or the operations flexibility. Then section 4A and 4B are also there, which is not mentioned in this slide. But the 4A is related to the technical advisor and 4B is related to the welder certificates. So the expert person who can technically advise for these boiler operations can be the inspection team, and that is why this 4A is included. And some of the welders are included in these fabrications, erectioner, commissioning, etc. activities, but they need certificate that they are authorized, they are knowing the boiler operations, they are knowing about the hazards and the seriousness about these boiler operations, and that is why this 4B, that is welder certificate, is also needed before working on the boilers. There are other points like 4C conditions precedent for manufacture of boiler components, or inspection during manufacturing, that is 4D is also there. So before manufacturing of this boiler or before repairing of this boiler or boiler components, the competent person should be present, the expert person should be present, and the design, fabrication, etc. all the operations should be carried out in the presence of the competent person or the expert persons only. So that is the different sections which are the covered under uh, 4A, 4B, 4C, 4D, 4F. Right? Then the section 5 is related to the chief inspector, deputy chief inspector, and inspectors. So chief inspector clearly gives you the idea that he is the main authority from the inspection team. The inspectors are the local inspector who can easily go to the different MIDCs, different companies to inspect the boiler operations, to give the certifications or to observe the repairing, maintenance activity, etc. And then for the particular region, the deputy chief inspector is appointed, and the chief inspector is going to observe, to supervise all the activities of deputy chief inspectors, and he is having the authority to visit any company for observing the boiler operations, etc. So state government is going to appoint these chief inspector, deputy chief inspector, and inspectors. Then section 6 is related to the prohibition of use of unregistered or uncertified boiler. So if there is a boiler which is operated without registration or without certification, then that operation can be stopped by the inspector, deputy chief inspector, or the chief inspector. So it is essential condition to have the registration of the boiler, to have the certificate of the boiler, where it is clearly mentioned that this boiler is having this much of capacity and these operations can be carried out with the help of these particular pressures, and all these mounting accessories and all the components are under this type of pressure, and this is the limitation of these type of operations. So registration is required. So before registration and certification process, we will discuss some of the important definitions under the section 2. So that one of the definition is boiler. So the pressure vessel in which steam is generated for use external to itself by the application of heat, which is wholly or partly under the pressure when steam is shut off, but does not include a pressure vessel with capacity less than 25 liters and with less than 1 kg per centimeter square design gauge pressure, and in which water is heated below 100 degrees Celsius. It means the boiler which is more than 100 degrees Celsius temperature, more than 1 kg per centimeter square design pressure, and more than 25 liters capacity is covered or applicable under this Boiler Act 1923. It means these boilers required the registration process. Then the boiler components are steam piping, feed piping, economizer, superheater, any mounting or any other fittings, and any other external internal part of a boiler which is subject to the pressure exceeding 1 kg per centimeter square gauge. So these are the boiler and boiler component definitions. Then accident. So this accident definition is related to the boiler only. So accident means an explosion of boiler or boiler component which is calculated to weaken the strength or an uncontrolled release of water or steam therefrom liable to cause death or injury to any person or damage to any property. So that is why this boiler is called as bomb or exploding bomb, because the main accident or the major accident related to the boiler is nothing but the explosion. Then the next definition is board. So board means in this Boiler Act, Central Boiler Board, which is constituted under section 27A. We will discuss this 27A later on. Then economizer. Economizer means any part of the feed pipe that is wholly or partially exposed to the action of flue gas for the purpose of recovery of waste heat. So we are going to recover this waste heat which is generated from the furnace or the flue gas. Then feed pipe. It means any pipe or connected fitting wholly or partially under pressure through which feed water passes directly to a boiler and which does not form an integral part thereof. So feed means we are feeding this pipe to the boiler only. Then superheater is the component or the equipment which is partly or wholly exposed to the flue gases. So for the purpose of raising the temperature of steam beyond the saturation temperature, we can use this superheater. So sometimes we require the superheated steam, and for that superheated steam generation, we require this superheater assembly. Then steam pipe, it means any pipe through which stream passes if the pressure at which steam passes through such pipe exceeding 3.5 kg per meter square above atmospheric pressure, and such pipe exceeds 254 mm in internal diameter and pressure 1 kg per centimeter square above atmospheric pressure, and includes in either case any connected fitting of steam pipe. So this is the simple that pipe which is carrying the steam but with particular pressure and particular diameter. Then section 7 is related to the registration. So we already discussed that the boiler which is having the capacity more than 25 liters or and the pressure is more than 1 kg per centimeter square and the temperature more than 100 degrees Celsius required the registration under this boiler act. So owner of any boiler which is not registered under this provision of this act, every such application shall be accompanied by the prescribed fee. So there is a specific fee, there is application provision, and owner is going to apply for the registration of this boiler. So the chief inspector is going to check all the documentation process, and chief inspector may appoint a deputy or an inspector who is going to observe the actual mounting accessories and boiler components in the industry. So depending on the capacity, depending on the structure, depending on the material of construction, and depending on the applications or the uses of this boiler, the inspector is going to decide that this much or the maximum pressure allowed for this boiler is this much, right? And then they are going to provide a particular duration for this registration. So normally 12 months means 1 year duration is can be fixed for this registration and certification process, and they can also refuse the registration process in case any component or any uh, misleading uh, provision or misleading data is given to the inspector in the applications, then they can reject the registration or the certification process also. So all the authorities are with the inspector and deputy chief inspector and chief inspector only. Then the section 8 is related to the renewal of certificate. So after getting the registration, after registration process, normally which is of 1 year, so we have to renew the registration process again. So we have to renew this certificate. And for that purpose, again, we have to apply for the renewal process. So the authority is going to check the expiry of the period for which it was granted. In case any accident is happen before 1 year, then also we have to go for the renewal process. If the boiler is moved or any component is changed or any changes are happen, then also we have to go for the renewal process. So depending on the conditions, we have to go for the renewal of this certification. So for that purpose, again, the inspector is going to observe all the things, and physically they are going to verify these boiler components, the changes or the modification or the movements of this boiler. And if any accident is happen, then they are also going to observe why this accident is happen, what are the root causes, and how to avoid the repetition of this accident for this purpose. The competent person mainly observe all these types of things, and then they are going to advise the safety measures or the safety precautionary procedures for that particular company as well as for the other companies which are going to handle these type of or the similar type of boilers. The main intention is to avoid the accident, to avoid the damage, to avoid the fatalities. Then the section 9 is related to the provisional orders. So where the inspector reports the case of any boiler to the chief inspector, because normally the chief inspectors are appointed these inspectors, then inspectors are visited the particular company, they observe all the things, they have note down the things, and they submit the report to the chief inspector, and then chief inspector is going to decide whether to sanction that registration, whether to sanction that renewal, or whether to sanction other provisions of that boiler. So for that purpose, these inspections order or inspector orders are the part of the duty of that chief inspector. So the orders may be in case may be in the force of on the expiry of 6 months from the date of which is granted, or on receipt of the orders of the chief inspector, or some for a particular cases or the incidents. So that is the decision of the chief inspector only. So some provisional orders may be granted for a particular purpose. Then section 10 is related to the use of boiler, pending grant of certificate. So if we applied for the certificate, and if the certificate is pending due to some reasons, then we are not allowed to operate that boiler before the certifications. And if any case, any doubt is there, then that competent person or that inspector is going to advise some of the rectifications or the improvement in that particular boiler or boiler component cases, and then only the certificate is going to provide. So there are some chances there may be pending of grant of certificate. Then section 11 is related to the revocation of certificate or provisional order. So the chief inspector may at any time withdraw or revoke any certificate or provisional order on the report of the an inspector. Otherwise, if there is a reason to believe that the certificate is provisional order has been fraudulently obtained or has been granted or without sufficient examination, then the renewal certificate or the permission can be cancelled or rejected at that time only. So all the uh, authorities with the chief inspector. So depending on the condition, the revocation of the certificate or provisional order is depend. Then section 12 is related to the alteration and renewals to the boiler. So in the certification, it is clearly mentioned that no structural alteration, addition, or renewal shall be made in or any boiler registered under this act. So unless such alteration, addition, or renewal has been sanctioned by the chief inspector. So if you want to change something, that may be the fittings, that may be the pipings, that may be some components, etc., then you have to ask to the chief inspector. If the chief inspector sanction that request, then only you can go for the alteration. Then section 13 is related to the alteration and renewal to the steam pipe. So it is on the similar way. If you want to change or modify the steam pipe, then you can go for the permission to the chief inspector only. Then section 14 is related to the duty of owner at examination. So on any date fixed under this act of the examination of boiler, the owner thereof shall be bound to afford to the all reasonable facilities for the examination, and all such information as may be reasonably be required of him to have the boiler properly prepared and ready for the examination. And in the case of application for the registration of a boiler, to provide such drawings, specifications, certificates, and other particulars as may be. So owner should be ready with boilers, documents, and technical specifications, billing, etc. So that when the inspector will visit that point, then within less time, they can observe and they can sanction all these facilities. That is nothing but the renewal or the registration of that boiler for that is nothing but the permission to operate that boiler. If in case any difficulties are there, or if the owner is not ready, then the inspector can reject that application for that time. Then 15 is related to the production of certificates. So after inspection, after submission of that report to the chief inspector, then after observation, if there is no doubt, then they can produce the certificate. Then 16 is related to the transfer of certificate. So if the owner wants to transfer that certificate to the new owner, then they can apply for the transfer of certificate procedure. Then 17 is related to the powers of entry. So an inspector may, for the purpose of inspecting the or examining a boiler or any steam pipe attached to it. So it is the provision that they can anytime observe these components at all reasonable times, enter any place or building within the limits of that area. Then 18 is related to the reports of accidents. So if any accident occurs to a boiler or to the boiler component, the owner or a person in charge thereof shall within 24 hours of accident report the same in writing to the inspector. So in case of accident related to the boiler, we have to report within 24 hours. So whatever may be the details, so that may be the related to the injuries to the persons or damage to the properties, etc. So all the details should be given to the inspector. Then 19 is related to the appeals to the chief inspector. So in case if the chief inspector rejected your application, that may be related to the registration, that may be related to the certification, or that may be related to the request of alteration of any boiler component or steam pipe, or for the movement of the boiler location, etc. Then if they are not accepted the reasons which is given by the chief inspector, then they can appeal for these kind of applications or the results from this chief inspector. Then 20 is related to the appeals to the appellate authority. So again, any person considering himself aggrieved by an original or appellate order for the of the chief inspector refusing to register a boiler or to grant or renew a certificate in respect of the boiler, or refusing a grant certificate having validity for full period, or refusing to grant a certificate authorize the use of boiler at maximum pressure. So these are the different conditions where we can go for the appeal to the appellate authority. So that may be structural alteration, that may be renewal, that may be date, that may be maximum pressure allowed, etc. Then section 20A is related to the power of central government to revise order of appellate authority. So the central government is having the power to revise the order of appellate authority, which is discussed in the section 20. So central government is the main authority. Then finality of these orders. So again, the central government and the chief inspector or the deputy chief inspector or the inspectors are the final authorities who are going to solve all these issues related to these appeals. 22 is related to the minor penalties. So there may be some penalties. That may be the case related to the owner. So any owner of a boiler who refuses or without reasonable excuses neglects to surrender a provisional order as required by the section 9 or to produce a certificate or provisional order with reference to section 15 or to make over to new owner of a boiler a certificate or provisional order under section 16 shall be punished with fine which may be extends to the 5,000 rupees. So some minor penalties provisions are also here under this act. 23 is related to the penalties for illegal use of boiler. So whatever may be the conditions which is clearly mentioned under this certificate, so that is related to the maximum pressure, maximum temperature, then duration of the certificate, duration of the registration, then you are not allowed for these particular alteration methods, etc. So all the provisions are paid. In case if any owner is found in these things, then they are punishable. So that amounts may be 1 lakh rupees, that may be 1,000 rupees. So all these amounts depends on the conditions. Then 24 is related to the other penalties. So there are some other penalties provisions are also made, that is related to the structural alteration, addition or renovation of the boiler without first obtaining the sanction of the chief inspector, or fails to report an accident to a boiler, then tampers with a safety wall of a boiler, or other persons are allowed to operate the boiler without his or her certification, etc. So there are other penalty provisions are also made under this section 24. Then 25 is related to the penalty for tampering with register mark. So if someone found to there is a change or tampering in the register mark, then there is a penalty provisions. So that may be extends up to 1 lakh also. Then 26 is related to the limitations and previous sanctions for prosecutions. So no prosecution for an offense made punishable by or under this act shall be instituted except within from the date of commission of the offense. And no such prosecution shall be instituted without the previous sanction of the chief inspector. 27 is related to the trial of offenses. So no offense made punishable by or under this act shall be tried by a court inferior to that of a presidency magistrate or magistrate of the first class. 27A is related to the Central Boilers Board. So we have discussed definitions section under section 2. So the board means Central Boiler Boards. The board shall consist of the different members like the secretary to the government of India in charge of department of the central government, having administrative control of the board, who shall be chairperson, ex officio, a senior technical officer, conversant with the inspection and examination of boilers, to be nominated by the government of each state other than a union territory, equal number of other persons as in subsection above to the present, central government, the Bureau of Indian Standards, boiler and boiler component manufacturers, national laboratories, engineering consultancy agencies, users of boilers, such others interest, which in the opinion of the central government ought to be represented on the board. Then technical advisor, that is member secretary ex officio, are the different members of these central boilers boards. Then section 28 is related to the powers to make regulations. So these boards are having the maximum powers to make the different regulations, to make the modifications or rectifications under the boiler provisions. So there are various powers under this act. Then 28A is related to the power of central government to make the rules. So central government is the main authority to make the rules, to modify the rules, or to change some of the points under these rules. And 29 is related to the power to make rules again, and this is again related to the state government now. So 28 and 28 is related to the central government power to make rules, and this 29 is related to the state government powers. Then 30 is related to the penalty for breach of rules. Now the different definitions are also involved, that is indicated in this slide. So competent authority, competent person, inspecting authority, technical advisor, structural alteration, addition or renewal of powers are also included under these different sections. Now the 30 is related to the penalty for breach of rules. So if you want to breach some of the rules which is given by the central government with reference to section 28, or by the state government with reference to 29, then we can breach the rules also. If the breach of rules is happen, then there is a penalty provision by this section 30. Then 31 is related to the publication of regulations and rule. So whatever the regulations or rules made by the central and state government, that can be published, and the authority is given to the central and state or the local officials also. Then 31A is related to the power of central government to give the directions. 32 is related to the recovery of fees, whatever the fees, whatever the applications given by the owner. So all the fees should be recovered by that local authorities. 33 is related to the applicability to the government. So save as otherwise expressly provided. So whatever this act shall apply to the boilers and boiler components belonging to that state or central government. Then 34 is related to the exemptions. So some cases of exemptions are already mentioned in the different sections, like some railways boiler, army, navy boilers, air force boilers, or the boilers which are under the hospitals or some nursing homes, etc. And likewise, some of the provisions are there which can be called as exemptions under this act. And the section 35 is related to the repeal of this enactment. So this is the overall sections of this boiler act, and we can understand what are the different guidelines given under this boiler act 1923. So for the execution purpose, for the other purpose, we can also study the boiler regulations, that is 1950, and other boiler regulations with their amendments for that state as well as for the India. Thank you.